put yourself in the shoes of Bernard. Why do you think the FA and the coach in general will exclude him from a game like this?
You know, Bernard's situation is similar to Jack Grealish of Aston Villa. Sometimes, I don't think it's a good decision. You have to keep proving yourself that I'm good. If the coaches don't notice, we Ghanaians, we journalists, will know you are doing a good job. So maybe he feels that you are playing a game in Turkey. You know you'll not be getting some of your key players. So then you invite me to come and play in that game. Now that you know you can rely on some of, you can rely on some players. I don't want to mention names. Now, let's say I'm not important, I'm not needed. So I think that I value myself. I know I'm a good player. If to you, the coach, you think I'm not good, or to the Black Stars, if you think I'm not good, then I'll decide to take a break. So I think maybe this would also influence his decision to say, come on, these guys don't need me. Let me just focus on my club career. Because we're having a discussion, and it's true. Where he's playing now, it is due to his
own hard work.
His own hard work, yes. He didn't get this. You know, some people come into the national team, they perform and it skyrockets them to get big teams. But Bernard has been hard working from Atletico Madrid, came to
went to Getafe.
Getafe, yes. But to Turkey, Kayserispor, and now Besiktas. And mind you, before in the just ended summer transfer window, before joining Besiktas, there were lots of clubs who wanted to sign him, including Galatasaray. So he feels that I'm a big player. I am good at what I do. So if you national team, you think that the other players who are important, then let me excuse myself and then let's concentrate on club career. But to me, I feel that he shouldn't have brought a statement at this moment. You
feel as if he should have waited and tried to prove himself?
Yeah. You should know the jurisdiction where you'll be doing this thing. Listen, this is Ghana. You are not an Asamoah or the day you get a president. Coming to say...
Does he care? At this point, I think he doesn't care.
No, but listen, at a point that you need that. You need the national team. That is the truth. You need a national team. Because let's be frank, how many of us do watch the Turkish league? Unless maybe a Besiktas is playing a Europa League or in a Champions League against a tougher opponent. That is what we get to know at this guy. Look at these guys we are seeing Bernard Tabati playing in the Europa League. He plays with Elvis Menu, and then you have Ibrahim Frimpong, Fezenveros in the Champions League. Then you get here Ghanaian players with these clubs. So personally, I know he's frustrated. That is why he brings this thing. But I hope those who are close to him will give him an advice. Whatever that is going on in this football, that is how the game is. Just be patient and do what you do. The time will come. Ghana will come for you.
I feel as if he thinks that, you know what, it's not even about just getting a call-up. It's about playing me, because I am playing more consistent minutes than the people you are benching me for. You are calling me, you are yanking me in a game where I'm literally the only one making a push and trying to make things happen. So I'm not sure how it is, but let's move on to another very interesting situation. So this guy we're about to talk about plays his football for Greuther Fürth. That's in the Bundesliga B, or the German second tier. Jamie Leveling, 18-year-old, German-born Ghanaian international. He's had some issues as well. He was invited by Siki Akono as part of the players that they wanted for this Sudan game. Guess what? He rejected the call-up. He says that he doesn't want to play for Ghana. I'm not sure how this happened, because typically before a player rejects a call-up, or before you go ahead to call a player to a national team, you should have completed all, diplomatic processes, paperwork, and even the emotional processes. You should have tried to walk him into what it will feel like to come and play for Ghana. Well, the word is that he had some affiliation with the current Black Stars technical director, also has some past with CK Akono, but the real meat of the matter is that Jamie Leveling has already represented Germany at the junior levels, and from my inside sources, he feels as if he has a legitimate shot at making the German national team in future, and he doesn't want to jeopardize that by playing for the Black Stars. And so that is a very puzzling situation for us. Herbert, this doesn't hurt me just based on this particular one alone, but it doesn't bode well for us in the quest for other players who are foreign born but are Ghanaians and want to play?
Yeah, we're all shocked when we heard Jamie has been invited to the Black Stars. And I did some digging on this young footballer. And as you said, he's had some game time for the German junior national teams. He played for Nuremberg between 2012 to 2017 before he was transferred to Rutherford. And that is where he's playing. And this season he's made 7 appearances. And I think he's like, he plays both by. Should I say he's a left-footed player?
Is it right? He plays with both feet.
Yeah, but I think his
stronger foot
is the left. And he just made 1 assist this season. So we are there, and then we are giving collabs. You know, a lot of Ghanaian players with foreign descent. Yeah.
We invited Alexander Jiku in recent times.
Jiku and co. And then we come up with Jamie. And everybody's asking, who is Jamie? To me, the way and manner the call-up even came. And now we're having these controversies. The guy is saying, I'm not ready, I'm not going to play. And the FA is being quiet about this. It's a mess. It's a mess. Seriously, look at the stats and trying to dig things, what this guy has done for him to merit a call-up. It's 0. So from my monitoring, we don't even need him. We do not need him. But you have a Tariq Lamptey, and there's this guy at Celtic who's playing so well. He's a Frimpong. Yeah, I think he's also a right back. These are youngsters, you know, they are performing with clubs at a high level. So if you are bringing them, bring a player that when you draft him to the national team, you wouldn't have a local player who is someone who is better than him. Because nobody, I'm telling you, none of us know about Jamie. I go on YouTube to check.
We're all hearing about him for the first time.
I go on YouTube to check maybe videos or skills of Jamie, and there's nothing. All you see is interview. Anybody watching, so just type in Jamie Lewin on YouTube, and that is controversy. Now the player is saying that I'm not even ready to play for Ghana, and his name is still on the FA website on players who have been invited for the doubleheader. So the Ghana Football Association, what are you telling Ghanaians? Is he coming or not? We have to know something. They have to tell us something, because this. He was invited, he was recommended by the technical director. And let's ask ourselves, when did the technical director, when did he come to Ghana? Or when was he given the job for him to come and watch?
Maybe he's been watching Leveling in the past and says, CK, you should call a certain guy in Germany called Leveling because he can add something.
But you see, we don't learn. When we invited KB Prince Parton, when he joined the Black Stars, where did he play? He played at South Africa, and where he played at the World Cup. He never played on the continent. I think he played in Egypt too. So I can remember he made 3 appearances.
And there were always those jokes and reports that he selected games where the pitch would be good for him.
Exactly. And then these are European players. They know the terrain there. They know the terrain over there. Inviting him to come and play on the African continent, and we are playing qualifiers. How well would they fare? So the whole FA's direction of now we are going for Ghanaian players abroad. Ghanaian players abroad, or
Ghanaian players born abroad.
To me, it's wrong. It is wrong, because when they come, they'll need time to adapt. Now we're going to see how Alexander Jiku is going to perform if he gets to play against Sudan, because Turkey is basically Europe. So they play this inter-club competition, so they travel around. But playing here is a whole different thing altogether.
Playing at Cape Coast is a different ballgame.
Yes, and then you go to Sudan where the altitude is very high. How are they going to fare? So why are we just thinking of now every collab that we make that we see a new player in the collab, every collab since it started with Kwesi Appiah. You remember this guy Christopher Ejeyanchi, Pedabon. We called him. The guy is playing so well. I don't know why. After Kwesi Appiah, he's not coming back. Now in CK's collab we had Alexander Jiku and then Fusu. I just want to see how they're going to fare now. They are coming to play in Ghana, and now we have Jamie Leveling. So please, let's turn our attention away. There are so many Ghanaian players abroad, Ghanaian players who are performing so well. Majid Ashimero, this guy with OH11. I think the name will come when I mention. He's also playing so well. Even last weekend we had Sadat Karim and this under 20 guy, Emmanuel Toku, who plays for Freeman Amaga in First Division. 9 games, he has 6 goals. In 9 games, he has 6 goals. So if you are giving chance or opportunities to youngsters like Jimmy.
And Toku is been through the system. He already understands the Ghana system.
Why don't we call Emmanuel Toku if we are ready to give a chance to Jimmy, who doesn't understand the Ghanaian game? Because he could tell you, born and bred in Germany, knows the German system. Now you have to incorporate him and what? He has to adapt. But then we have people who have played under 17, under 20, playing so well in Europe. Like
ready to just slot in.
Just like Toku. So why don't you rather, obviously we are talking about promoting players from the junior national teams. We have someone like Kudus. Kudus has also been through the system.
Yep.
We invited him into the Black Stars. You saw his first game. Superb. No pressure because he's played at the World Cup and he played at the African Cup. Same for Toku. Toku has played under 17, played at the World Cup, played under 20, captain the U23 team, and now he's performing so well. 9 games in 6 games. If Jemmy is playing in the Bundesliga B, okay, so let's say Division 1, and Toku is also in Denmark and playing in First Division, who are you going to pick? Because look at the stats. He has played 7 matches, 1 assist. Toku has played 9 matches, 6 goals.
6 goals.
And not even a striker, an attacking midfielder.
Even if we were going to pick somebody from Greuther Fürth, I felt like it had to be Hans Nunu Sape because one, he's always literally ever present in his team. He's a Ghana boy. He knows the terrain well. He understands the language. He wouldn't have been as difficult to incorporate into our setup as a guy like Jamie Leveling. So just like you're saying, I am still puzzled about the Leveling situation. I am waiting to see if the FA will provide some clarity on his future going forward. But as it stands now, like you said, it really is a mess. It doesn't bode well for a lot of the guys. For instance, like you mentioned, Tariq Lamptey, for instance, is a guy that the FA have confirmed that they're trying to convince to come play for Ghana. If he looks at how this situation has played out, he juxtaposes it against what has happened with a guy like Kevin Prince Boateng, Adam Larsen Kwarase. He will look at the Black Stars and say, you know what, I don't think this will be a good move for me. So let me just stay away and let me just concentrate on my activity. But talking about moves that are not too good, Ghana's Thomas Partey has suffered a thigh injury. Arsenal were literally wiped over the floor by Aston Villa yesterday. 3-0 is how they lost that game. But Partey was hooked at half time when there was only 1-0 to Aston Villa. The news is that he suffered a thigh injury, and we are not sure yet, but I'm suspecting that he might not make the trip to come play the AFCON qualifiers. What do you make of the situation?
Yeah, definitely. I think the players they are going through a lot in this, especially this calendar. You know, due to the corona pandemic, a lot of the season had to kickstart late, and then next season we have this European Championship coming up. So the season is packed. Even look at the Champions League and the European competitions. They are playing in 1 week. First they had this 2 weeks interval, and then you have Premier League games. You have league games also coming up. So the season is packed. So players would have to play up like the rest, like they're not getting enough rest.
Couple that with long distance traveling.
Exactly. And then you have international break coming in between, traveling to your country, also moving around. So that is why we're having these injuries. And it's not only with Partey. Yesterday we watched Liverpool, you have Trent
Alexander-Arnold. In fact, a lot of the European managers are complaining about how much their players are getting injured because of fixture congestion.
Yeah, the season is, even Partey, before he joined Arsenal, had to do his medical flight to Turkey to join the Black Stars, had to go back, fly back. And even when he arrived, trained with the team and then played against Citi. So just look at the pressure, and even as a player. So we feel for them. And when managers are complaining, you have to, but it's no fault of anybody. You can't say the calendar is congested. This is what we have to do. But sometimes we are also thinking, what if the players would say, Coach, let's fake something. I'm tired. I don't want to travel to join the national team.
Should he do that? Should players be able to do that without being judged?
That possibility is there, because you could just make a clear case for a clear example with Mohamed Kudus. Prior to the friendly matches, we heard he was injured. He picked an injury in training. Ghana insisted that he should join the team so that our doctors will assess. They said no, they were not going to. After the friendly game, he comes back. Even today, I'm picking information that Majid Ashmeri was invited. At Salzburg, they have recorded 6 players have contracted the virus, and they're not ready to release any player. So this is a banter that we are going to be hearing in the coming days. Because now when a player when they come back to the club, per the protocols, they have to be out for 14 days. And imagine 14 days, how many games they are going to miss.
Don't forget too that the last time after the qualifiers, after 7 days, close to 8 of the Black Stars players contracted COVID-19.
Yes.
So there's every bit the fact that teams will be skeptical about letting their players go. So I'm not like, how does this play out for Ghana? I mean, Partey's injury, clearly there's a hole left in that midfield. How do we maneuver around that?
Now, we don't know, the tests are not in yet, and the game is on Thursday.
Yep.
So let's say he's out, because when is he going to fly from London to Ghana, prepare with the team, and then so maybe for now as a player he has to think of his injury, because he's still settling into the Arsenal team, even though he's playing so well, and we have to know the extent of the injury, how long he'll be out. So let's say Partey is out. So then it comes to our local players. If our league was to be in session by now, definitely we're going to draft someone into that setup, because now you give a collab, you hand late collabs to other players, and then their clubs are saying that no, because of COVID-19 we are not going to release. And I think FIFA has given the clubs the mandate that if you think that you don't want to, you don't want to release your player due to these circumstances, that is cool. And we have to understand, now we have to make good use of what we have. Partey is a big player. When he comes, he will start. Now that he's not coming, any player that has been called, that player has to justify himself. Okay, so I don't think it is a big deal. Yes, we're going to miss him because we know the quality and what he adds into the team, but they also give opportunity to other players who have been invited. So big miss for Ghana. And you know, anytime we play Sudan, it's going to be a tough game.
It's a big game.
It's a big game. So now we also had Roy Hodgson also complaining of leaving, allowing Jordan and Jeff to join the club. You know, the last time Jordan joined,
picked up
COVID-19, went by and had to be off some games, which always affected his managers. So we are hoping, and to have been listening to the Ghana Football Association, the general secretary, saying that when the stars go to camp, their hotel is barred from journalists, from media. They want to adhere strictly to the COVID-19, so that what happened in Turkey after those games are not going to happen again. We cannot say that because they came to play for the Black Stars, that is why they contracted the coronavirus. But they are hoping that everything will be put in place so the players will feel safe and so that they can play, and you don't have to return to your national team with this thing, because the corona is here and has been devastating for clubs. Very, very devastating for clubs. So we are hoping our national team I hope when they come and they are tested, we'll not have somebody recording a positive case that would also take him out. That would really put pressure on CK, because the truth is that as I'm talking to you now, we don't know the number of players who are in Ghana, and it is likely that
we don't even know who is even coming among those who have been drafted in as replacements.
That is it. So maybe by close of day or by tomorrow, we would have a fair idea of players who would be allowed by their clubs to join. But always we need our key players to come inside, because against Sudan is going to be a tough game, a two-legged game, and we'll need the point.
Well, Herbert has stated emphatically, against Sudan it will be a tough game. There are a few more players we are going to discuss who have some sort of asterisks just hanging over their heads based on one club situation or the other coming into this Ghana versus Sudan game. But you just heard the word on Thomas Partey. Like I said, he's picked up a thigh injury following that encounter against Aston Villa. The national team will be sweating on his fitness now. We wait to see if he will indeed confirm that he will make the trip down here, or he will decide to stay with his club side Arsenal. Let's take a quick break here on the tracker. When we come back, there's a lot more to dissect. Stay with us.
Sunana Abdulrazak. Last week, I received a message from Bet Planet. Come on, now win golden ticket. Nadan je injin saya ma Mercedes Benz na. An ba ku yadda ba kuma gashi nan ga suna na kai. Mun ga na gora kaman gaskiya ne. Mun na so ce na gode Bet Planet. Na gode ma kowa.
If you win, no one win like Bet Planet. My baby, hold it low. If you win, no one win like Bet.
Do you want to lose weight, get in shape, or simply just stay fit? Then workout is the show for you.
4, and then I change. All right? We are massaging the hamstring. All right, we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. I push. 1, good. 2, 3, 4. By the count of 3, hold it from here. Viewers, hold your bottles. We are ready to tone our arms. Are you ready?
Join us and let's stay fit on Workout, showing this on every Saturday and Sunday at 5:30 a.m. only on Citi TV. Citi TV, it's your world.
Welcome back to the tracker here on Citi TV. You can join us with your thoughts via text and WhatsApp 0550585832, and I'll be too happy to read out your thoughts. We are discussing the Black Stars, players that have been drafted in for the game against Sudan and players that can't make the trip because of one reason or the other. Now, of course, the FA, of course, have released a statement saying that 7 new additions have been made to the team because obviously CK Akono can't have access to certain players. The next player on my list is Harrison Affo, but before we even get to Harrison Affo, let's just touch on 2 players that are not on my list but have been drafted. There's Kojo Nketsia of Ashanti Gold, he's a defender, and then there's also Christopher Neti on loan at Asante Kotoko from Atram de Vessier. Herbert, just quick thoughts on, let's start with Christopher Neti. A lot of people seem to believe that he is one of the best young fullbacks in the country currently. With no local league action ongoing, we've always made the excuse that we cannot call players when there is no action in the motherland, but it looks as if an exception has been made for Amoako and Neti, to be specific. Let's talk about Neti's situation. How suitable is this in the broad spectrum of things?
Yeah, we know local football, domestic football has been out since March.
Yeah.
And then I think October, the clubs were given a green line to restart. So they've been having pre-seasons.
Yeah.
So let's say they will not be at their A level or they'll not be in top shape. But this is the Black Stars. You know, when we are missing out, Harrison Affo was invited. I think he will not make the squad. And then Andy Yandom has been drafted. And then you have Nate, and then you have Kojo Nketsia. I think Christopher Nate, yes, he said he's been one of the best right backs we have in the country. You know, he's from Atram de Vessier.
Yep.
And he joined Asante Kotoko in that big money move that was reported. And he performed so well. He played so well. And getting a call up to the Black Stars in itself is a motivation for you to excel. This is not, maybe I'm not getting playing time, I've not been playing. Asante Kotoko already they've been engaged in some preseason games, so that is enough. When you get a chance, you have to perform. And yes, even though I said Sudan is going to be a tough opposition, when you're Christopher Neti or an Isaac Amoako, and you get that chance, you know, the Black Stars, it is very competitive. So anytime you get that chance, you must perform.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that they should perform, even though with the benefits of the doubt, they haven't been engaged in top games. The league is not underway. But you've gotten the call up, you have to perform. You have to perform. Yes. Because it's your chance.
Yeah.
Maybe this is now or never.
You might never get a chance
now
again.
Or never. Exactly. It's just like how during when they played the friendlies, the guy for Zelini, Benson.
Yep.
Benson had a strap. Yeah, he performed, and then coach said he did well, so I need to invite you. So this is their chance. Because Black Stars Ghana, one of the most competitive teams. Because look at the number of players
that get called up every time.
Yeah, domestic. And to have 2 domestic players, they should. They'll have to vouch for other. They should vouch for the other colleagues that when you give us the chance, we can play. With Kojo Nketsia, Remember when we had to play Sudan in March?
Yep,
He was
yep.
also invited alongside
True.
Habib, Yaya Mohammed and Co.
Yeah.
So he's someone I think the coach.
They've been keeping an eye on him.
They've watched him, and he's not a bad player because I watched him twice at Accra Sports Stadium. I watched Ash Gold versus Hartlepool.
Yeah.
He was superb. So I like his runs. Very, even though he's very diminutive, very difficult for you to beat him. And so this is also his chance to also prove a point for the local players. So I'll say Christopher Note and Kojo Nketsia, they should be ambassadors for local players so that going forward, because we don't know when Corona is going to leave us. Now that we have 7 players, when the league starts and these players are performing, the coach, this is the time they should also pay attention
to the local league, because now bringing players down has become more complicated.
Yes, because now clubs are not even willing to release their players. And even, as I said, Magina Shimero, Salzburg have recorded 6 players have contracted and they're not willing and ready to leave, because with the 6 players means they have to stay out for 14 days. That is 2 weeks. So when we leave Majid and he goes and he comes back, and let's say he tests positive, it means that we are also losing him.
Yeah.
You get it? So to the FA, in every bad situation, sometimes there's light.
There's light somewhere.
There's light somewhere.
Yeah.
So this is the time. So this 2 players, this is the time to also make a case for themselves and also for the local base.
Talking about teams not wanting to let their players go, Columbus Crew are reluctant to let Harrison Affle go. The same Harrison Affle that journalists have been saying he's old, he's played too long for the national team. His team believe he's so valuable to what they do that they don't want to let him come and play.
Yeah, he is. Yesterday, together with Jonathan Mensah, they played 90 minutes, and that 2-0 win really escaped the team they played. But they won yesterday. It tells you how key he is for Columbus Crew. He's been very consistent for them, seasons after seasons, and looking at his age. Harrison is almost 30 plus, but still performing at a high level. And then you have Citi saying that I need to bring him to the national team so that the youngsters can learn from him. But it's understandable. We've gotten to the point in the season that every team don't want to lose their key players. If there was no coronavirus, I think then Ghana would have demanded that you have to come. But now in this pandemic that we find ourselves, our hands are tied. Even though he's not injured, but look at making that trip from America. When will they get to the game? Is Thursday, don't forget.
True.
After the game, they have to fly to Sudan, come back home before they fly to America. So, looking at all these things, the club could just say, no, we're not ready to allow you to go. Maybe the player would even communicate with the club. I don't think I want to make this trip. So, let's just frame something. I'm not saying that is what he has done, but in my opinion. But as I keep saying, if Harrison is not coming, it opens door for other people
Benson
to also.
is there.
Benson is there. Now even have Andy Adam too, who has been invited with that experience. And Andy Adam has been playing at that position.
Fantastic when he plays for the Black Stars.
He's been playing. He's been consistent for the Black Stars at that position. So if Harrison is not coming, we'll have a good replacement in Andy and Christopher Nonete, and then Kojo Nketsia to have also been invited. So I don't think he will be missed.
Interesting thoughts there. Let's move up to Clifford Aboagye on the list there. He plays his football for Club Tijuana in Mexico. Now he's been through. This is his 3rd Mexican club. Played for Atlas, played for Querétaro. Now he plays for Club Tijuana. He's been drafted in as one of those guys invited. And Aboagye has always been consistently peppered by the media about being invited to the Black Stars. Why haven't you reached this potential? Why haven't you reached this level? He's finally gotten his call up.
Yeah, definitely. When you work hard, that is why as a player, you need to. It is your performance that will determine whether if you merit a call up or not. And then Aboagye has been one of the prospects for Ghana since that 2013 FIFA Under-20 World Cup, when they played with the likes of Paul Pogba and some people. Yeah, he's been fantastic. Even though I was disappointed that he didn't stay in Europe, because when he was with Granada, he was having some game time, but breaking into the first team was a problem. Sometimes he plays, sometimes he's been drafted to the reserve side, and then he had to make that move to Mexico, and he hasn't been bad. he hasn't been bad at all. If you look at the quality that he has, you see, Abuaje's type of play or his caliber, we still don't have that in the Black Stars.
I was just about to come to this.
Yes, we don't have that.
I feel like we hate such players. Until his call up, I was beginning to feel as if we dislike such players in the national team.
Should I even link him with Tony Cruz?
Yeah.
Or because he's a
like
player.
Luka Modric type player.
Modric, yes.
Yep.
Has the eye for the pass.
Brain.
Forget that he's
He
diminutive.
can take on defenders. He can take long distance shots.
Exactly. And when you go to the Mexican League, I'm telling you, they have some of the best. They play some of the best football in the world.
The Mexican League is huge.
It's huge.
It's very competitive.
On that continent, it is very huge. That is why Mexico has been dominated in there.
In fact, Mexican players don't like to leave their country that much because their league is actually pretty quality. They get paid well. Everything is really good.
So sometimes it all depends on our coaches and their philosophy, because you can have a coach who will put Abuaje in that Black Star setup and it will work. Because now with the current scope of players that we have in our team, anytime they play, you will know it is all about the square passes. It is just that maybe, I think in our last game against the Qatar, that you have Thomas Partey giving that.
Bernard Mensah was doing good things for us in that game, and then they yanked him at halftime. He was not a very happy guy.
But that is the thing, Clifford is suffering the same fate as Yao Yeboah, their type of play. You see how they operate at number 10 role. But sometimes you have to understand, you have a Dede Ayew and then Jordan Ayew
who literally operates in the same space. So then when you're a coach, what do you do or what happens? So this is a call-up. This call-up, he also has to come and just make a case for himself. I keep saying, even if you are given 5 minutes and you have to blow it, you just have to do it. It's just like Kudus. Because we kept saying Kudus media, just at our Cape Coast Stadium, 10-15 minutes, he came on the pitch, and that was all. His name becomes a household name. So now we keep saying Clifford should be invited. But the thing is that when they are invited, we are hoping that the coach would have that confidence in them and give them game time. That's what I was just about to say.
And give them that game time.
Is it about just calling them, or it's about giving them a chance to show what they can do?
Sometimes we kill their confidence. Let me tell you, we invited this guy Kamal Dean of North Zealand. He had a bad game when we had a friendly match. That is it. But I'm telling you, for North Zealand, Denmark, players nominated for Player of the Month for October, Kamal Dean and Francis Abu were nominated. I needed to see Kamal Dean just once to realize that he was a fantastic player. Just once. But you see, sometimes when you're invited, you get a call up. You should know that the national team is big. It is not every player that when you invite him, he gets he jets off. Some players take time to warm up. They take time to warm up. So you just don't call such a player and just dump him. If he's bad, he wouldn't have been nominated for October Player of the Month in Denmark. He's a brilliant player, actually. He's good, He's a brilliant player. Now, I mean, if you are Siki Akono, do you throw Abuaje right into the mix, or you want to put him on the bench? Can we even find a place for him in the starting lineup, for instance, in the kind of system that we play? That is what it depending on. If I was CK, I would look at the players, because now we don't know who will be coming. Okay, so let's say if you're missing a party, and Bajil Ashmero maybe can make it, and you have Ifia Akwa, you have Mubarak Wakasu. So these are two combative midfielders. Let's say box to box. But you have this player who has the flair, has that eye for the pass, who can also score and take in, players. So what do? Would you like to play him? You would like to partner him with a player who is defensive-minded, or you like to go with two defensive-minded players? So it all depends on the coach. But in our game against Sudan, if he starts for me, if he gets to start, it is fine. Because this Sudan team, they are going to set back. So you need that player who can give those split passes, can split the defense with his passes. You can have this player who can also take on players, because he knows that he doesn't have that physical strength. Okay, he's good at what he does. So to win you set pieces, to win you those set pieces that you can convert into goals. In any game, I'm going to start Clifford Abuaje. He's such a good player. Maybe we haven't given him that chance. But now that he has, the onus also lies on him to also prove that I can also play. This is what you've been missing out on. Because this is a player that in 2030, he came as the second best. He was the second. I think he took the silver medal or the bronze medal. Golden ball or something. He was literally one of the best players at the competition. He was the best. And now you've been gunning for the chance, and now that you have it, you have to take it. So it also lies there. It is with
the
him,
player.
yeah, to prove that now that I've gotten the call up, I can play, and also with the coach, where would I play so that he can fit well. When we played against South Africa at the Cape Coast Stadium, where Kosia deployed Duncan, I knew he was going to fail because you don't play him on the left wing.
Yeah.
That is not his
Literally
position.
setting the player up to fail.
And then he had to take him out in the second half because he was trying. Okay, when you call a player, you know where they perform well with their clubs, even though you have a system.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you deploy him somewhere, you know, Ghanaians are very critical.
Yeah.
Okay, someone's going to say, why is it that the last time you called and he played, he didn't perform?
Why are you calling him
again?
again?
Why are you calling him again? So sometimes where they are deployed on the pitch in the game also plays a role. You know where he can perform for you, so put him there. Don't put him on a wing whereby he will flop. So sometimes our coaches will also help our players so that when we make a case for them and they come into the national team, because when I make when I select and I tell them I'm playing here, I can't say then coach I won't play because you're not putting me at my position. So drop me. No, he cannot. He just have to go and deliver.
Improvise,
but he might not be comfortable at where he is. So our coaches and our technical team to also check that.
Well, let me read a few messages coming through. You can send in your messages. We're reading a few more of them before we go. 0550585852. This one here says that there's this young Ghanaian defender, Gideon Mensah, who plays for Varberg's Balls in the Swedish top flight. I think he's doing extremely well and must be looked out for. He has already played for the junior national teams. This one also says that Latif Blessing won Goal King and Player of the season before he left the shores of the country. He has been playing for his US club since. Again, another one comes in and says the coach should hand Latif Blessing a call up to the national team. The national team handlers are not being fair to him. More coming through. This one is from Andy Cole from Soultum. He says, you know why Bernard Mensah has resigned? The thing is that Ghanaians talk a lot and most of the time are very ungrateful. All what we need is your ability to score goals and play to everyone's satisfaction. Once you are not able to justify that, you are out, which shouldn't be the case. Well, people are making their own reasons for why Bernard Mensah is not in the mix. But like I said, keep your thoughts coming. 0550585852. Let's move to the next guy on 055-0585832. 585832, that's the number. Let's move on to the next guy. Majid Ashimero also handed a late call-up. It looks like his call-up will be hampered by his club side, Red Bull Salzburg, because as things stand now, like we rightly mentioned, 6 players have tested positive in their camp, and it looks like there is going to be some restriction on player movement. This is such a big blow for him.
Yeah, it is a big blow because this is a player that we're all yearning that he will join the Black Stars. Because we've seen him play in the Champions League and week in, week out in the Austrian Bundesliga, and he's doing so well. And I think he has this quality that he also has this, I don't know how to put it. I keep saying eye for a pass, but he has this eagle eye. He's able to spot players with his passes, and you need that. You know, Ibrahim Tanko invited him once, and he played for the Black Meteors at Accra Sports Stadium. You could see the intensity. You know, and
I mean, he's from Wafa.
He's from Wafa, exactly.
From Wafa. His football brain is advanced.
Exactly. And we need those sort of players in our Black Stars because over the years, when you look at the Black Stars, we've been having this. If it's not Wakato, it is a Fiyaka, Ajiman Beju. You see their caliber, how they play. You see how they play that type of football. We don't have this kind of skillful and this midfielders who are very good with passing. We don't have them. It is not that we have Ashmero, then you have Bernard Mensah, and then Clifford Abuache, and then you have Kudus Mohammed. You know, this breed of midfielders who are coming, I think we need to draft them. And I was hoping that he would have come to also come and explore, to also come and showcase why we said Majid Ashimero should
why we've been making all the noise about him.
Yes, exactly. But as things turns out, it seems his club is not ready to release because this COVID-19 it's been a problem.
It's devastating.
It will be very sad on my part to not to see him because now CK is saying he's building a new generation of Black Stars, and this guy, he is part of the new generation. Because believe me, what he's doing at Salzburg, it is wonderful, and he merits a Black Star call-up day in, day out. If the players are not playing well, I will not come and sit here and say let's call him. Okay, but we watch him and he's doing it. Playing in the Champions League, it is big. It is really big and it's huge. And This is someone who has also been through the mill because he's played for the junior national team, so he understands the pressure and he knows how it feels to play for the Black Stars.
Yeah.
Unlike you call a Jamie or you call a Ghanaian player who has to come and have to adapt.
Yeah.
Like we have to teach him. Charlie, it's something.
He doesn't even understand the language.
He does not.
He can't relate to the jokes and mannerisms. Some of the stuff that happen in
You need time. A typical example is Jeffrey Schlupp. You know, me since he started playing for the Black Stars, he's never impressed me. But this is Ashimeru, he has played in the Ghana Premier League before. He played for Wafa before he moved out.
Yeah.
So he knows and he understands the system and the culture. He knows what it takes to be a part and parcel of the Black Stars. Because when you play and you're good and you stay, you become part and parcel of the family for 10 years.
Sure.
And you know what the Black Stars can give you as a player. Okay, so if he's missing, to me it is sad. If he's missing, it's sad. But there are more games that will be coming ahead. So, as I said, if he's not coming, it gives chance to other players who have been called who would also make. But Majid Ashimeru, any day.
I think that Majid is so good that eventually we can't avoid inviting him to the national team.
Yeah.
He'll eventually make his time in the national team, but it looks like for now his call-up might be hampered by travel processes and COVID-19 restrictions. Let's talk about another guy who has become like a plug-in player. He's become an interim guy. Every time somebody fails to make the call-up, they plug him into the situation. Every time there's an injury situation in a position, we try to plug him in there. Hard-working guy, always positive, always ready to work hard. Joseph Atamalawe plays for Kayserispor. He's also been one of those guys that's been giving a late call-up. He was played out of position on his Black Stars debut by Kwesi Appiah. He was absolutely slaughtered by Ghanaians after that performance, but he's picked up himself really well ever since. What do you make of this call-up? He's also changed clubs not too long ago.
Yeah, Atama's issue has to do with when I was talking earlier about the player positions,
yeah.
You know, at club level, I think he's a utility player. Sometimes they play him back. He can play the DM. Yeah. He can play at the center of midfield. And what Kwesi Appiah also did to him to
play at
right back. That like he played woefully in that game. So anytime Atama is invited, definitely he's not going to start a game. He's going to be a backup to somebody else. So,
but what do you think his favorite position is or his best position is? Yeah,
it's either you play him a DM or you play him in the center half because he has that qualities. When he was playing for Basaksehir here, that's why he did so well.
That perhaps was his best spell in Europe.
Exactly. At that, especially the DM, and sometimes you draft him. He's that kind like. Should I compare him to Fred or Manchester United? Yeah. I think he has that qualities.
Their game style is actually very similar.
Very similar, yes. Yep. Very, very hard working. Very, very hard working. And then when you play him in that uncomfortable position and he messes up, instead of you the coach coming in to come and what? To defend him. No, you have our coach going silent. That has been why some of these players very good with their clubs, but when they come, the confidence to play, because as I said, Ghanaians are very analytical. Yep. So when they're given a chance and you flop, some of that is the end for you. So in this, he's been called because someone is not making someone has dropped and he has to replace the person. But definitely he's coming to come and sit on the bench because I don't see him starting in any of our games. And mind you, he just recovered from coronavirus. Yep. I think he played this week. He played this week for his side. So he also has the experience. So getting him to replace some of the players who are not coming, that is not bad.
Last guy on our list is Free Aqua. Free Aqua has to be one of my favorite Black Stars midfielders. So when I watch him play, his dedication always speaks to me. He barely ever plays a bad game. Never wants to complain a lot. Just comes down and comes to play. If you want me to play, I'll come. If you don't invite me, you'll never hear him whining about not being invited or whatever it says. He plays for Yeni Malatyaspor in Turkey these days. He scored his first goal of the season over the weekend. It must be a ripe time to call him back into the national team.
Exactly. I call him hard guy because based on how he plays, very good, very committed and dedicated. As you said, he's been playing well this season. I think he was promoted to deputy captain for his side, and he's been super. Yes,
he didn't join this team in such a long time.
I think
the last transfer window.
The last transfer window, wow. Yes, and he's been playing so well. He's in the same thing with Benjamin Tete, and both of them also played over the weekend. So it's good to have him. So anytime a free worker plays for the Black Stars, you know how he said, very solid, always protects our defense moving forward. It also helps with the transition. So to also get him back at this crucial time that we are missing a lot of players, it's good. You know, he's some of the key players that you don't need to justify why we should call him.
He's already proven himself.
Exactly. Because when he was in Italy and he was not even getting game time, when he comes to the Black Stars, he still gives out his best and he's solid. So good to also have him back. But as Akim said, how is CK going to deploy? Because you know, when we played, was it the Mali game? We have Alexander Jiku, who at Strasbourg is a center defender, who was played DM. Okay, so I don't know how CK is going to deploy some of his players, whatever he's going to maintain him at the center, or how he's, I just don't know how he's going to deploy. So we are hoping that now some of these old guys are coming back, whatever he's going to maintain them at their natural position that we know, or he's going to deploy them somewhere else, because he keeps saying that he's trying to bring a new brand of football to the Black Stars. We saw it against Mali, it didn't work, but we saw something good against Qatar. So now these players are all coming back. Let's go and see how he's going to deploy him.
Let me read a few more messages, and then I'll take your concluding thoughts on the game before we go. So somebody is asking an interesting question here. It says David Addy is missing in action. Why has he not been called up to the Black Stars? Herbert is the track. I'll ask you to tell you why and perhaps where David Addy is currently. This one's from Emmanuel Azubire from Bongo. He says, is it true that Jamie Leveling of Greater Firth in the German Bundesliga has rejected the Black Stars call-up? I think we discussed that already. Jamie Leveling definitely does not want to suit up for Ghana. But somebody mentioned David Addy. Interesting name. Last time I remember him playing, he was at Victoria Guimares. I think he played for Gostepe or something at a point. But he's just falling off the radar completely.
Yeah, that is it. Maybe he's not... I'll be frank and I'll be honest. He's not my radar because when I look at players who are performing well, at that left back, I don't think.
We've never even really considered him for the national team.
As you said, he's falling down the pecking order. Because now when you look at our left backs who are performing very well, when you take Gideon Mensah, Victoria Guimares, and then
we're inviting Lumo.
But Lumo has also been consistent.
Yeah.
Lumo has been consistent.
And
then you have Babaraman. So that is why I understand CK Akono. Maybe Ghanaians will not get it. Why is it that he's not playing for the Chelsea B team, but you invite the Chelsea main team?
Best left back that he's playing.
Yes. Why is it? But I think it is the communication.
Yeah.
Because if I was the coach, I would have said, he played for the Black Stars and he got that injury that affected his club career. Now that he's struggling, why don't you also give him a chance? It's fair enough. We understand.
Makes a lot of sense.
But that explanation CK was brought. No,
like he has been playing 90 minutes for the Chelsea team.
He didn't sit down well with Ghanaians. But let's be frank, we don't have enough, or we don't have a lot of Ghanaian players playing at that left position in Europe. We do not have Lumo, Gideon Mensah, and then Babaraman. That is why in those two games against Qatar and Mali, we had Gideon Mensah struggling because he had also. When he joined Guimares, I think he had to adapt. He didn't start playing.
He's now settling down.
Then he had this national team call-up. So then it was going to affect him, and then he struggled. Really, he struggled in that game against Mali before he played quite well. That is why he said, then let me call Babaraman, who has that experience. Do you know when we were going for the 2019 African Cup of Nations, Babaraman had some game time. But when he came, he was solid for the Black Stars at the African Cup. He played so well. So maybe some players are not playing well at national team, at our club level. But when you give them a chance and they come to the national team, they excel. And he's one of those players. Let's forget about this Kets affiliation and something. We need him. Seriously, we need him. At this standard, we're not even getting players. Because heading into the Sudan game, if we would like to still play Gideon Mensah, then he will need a cover-up. But if you want to be down an experience, I think he's learned his lesson. That is why I said this time, I need a Babaraman.
Well, you said it all. Let me read the final message before we go. This one is coming to you. It says, Ben, I think your panelist should be signed as the new head coach for Arsenal because Arteta, not the seat of crowd. So that's somebody there for you. He says that Herbert, my good friend, the tracker here, should be signed on as Arsenal's head coach because, Charlie, some way for Mikel Arteta. So that's it for today's show. We'll be getting updates on the game itself. Hopefully, the next time we are back here on the tracker, we'll tell you how each and every one of those players perform. Same time next week, the tracker will be back on Citi TV.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access